What's up, family? On this channel, I've shared with you many ways that you can make money online. And it's very clear that one of your favorite ways is by getting paid to read at home. That is with audiobook narration. And I've spoken a lot about the platform where I landed my first audiobook narration job that turned into 6 contracts with audiobooks on Audible that pay me royalty checks every single month to this day. And that platform where I landed those audiobook narration jobs is called ACX. I don't gatekeep that, but ACX is not the only game in town. So whether ACX isn't available in your country, or you're looking for some more options, or if you're one of those people that heard that the sound requirements on ACX are quite strict, so you're trying to avoid that, we'll have to discuss that one later. But no matter your reason for not wanting to use ACX, this video is going to give you alternative options. So in today's video, I'm going to tell you straight up, forget ACX. These 8 websites that I'm going to drop in this video will pay you to read in many countries. So no matter where you are in the world, you should be able to leave here with at least a couple different options. So I did the research and I put this video together for you, so you know what you got to do. Hit that algorithm in the face. Let YouTube know that you like money-making content. And even better, you guys get several hypes a week. Please hype this video up to let me and the YouTube algorithm know that you like to find ways of making money from home. But now that we got that out of the way, let's get into this video so we can forget ACX and talk about these websites that will pay you to read in many countries. Let's go. All right, y'all, we're going to get into these 8 websites that will pay you to read from home. But I just want you to know that all of these platforms have different criteria, which I will give you plenty of information on. Each of them will actually go onto the websites. But also, I want you to keep in mind that I am here in the US, okay? Like I said, there are worldwide options available on this list, but there's 200 countries in the world. So if you want to know if a particular platform works in your country, then simply click the link. I did the work. You got to do the rest. Okay. Are we here? We're here. Okay. Let's get into this first platform. It's called WeHear. WeHear will pay you to read short stories for an app, and not just like a one-off short story. They actually allow you to read for series. So think about it. That's recurring revenue that you can potentially have. And this is really great for beginners because it doesn't require you to be sitting there for hours on end to record an entire audiobook. No, these short stories are typically between 10 and 15 minutes long. So let's check out the WeHear platform because I want you to see this for yourself. So looking on the WeHear website, you can see that there are different audiobooks that you can narrate for. And the thing is, the series are typically like really niche, like werewolf romance type of stuff. Okay. So you can actually come over here and find a narrator job by clicking on Become a Narrator, and it'll take you right over here where you can see what the criteria is in order for you to get a narration job. But what I really like about this page is it actually breaks down what they expect. So you're going to have to send a demo and a CV, which is basically like your resume for audiobook narration. Then you're going to name your own rate, and that's per finished hour. Like, how much will you charge? Not for the amount of time that it's going to take you to record it, but the amount of time that the audio is after you take out the mistakes. So if it takes you an hour to record a 15-minute audio, you're going to get paid for the 15 minutes, not for the hour it took you. So once the mistakes are out and the audio is ready, that is your actual audio length, and that is what PFH is based on. The third step is work with editors to select books. Okay, so as you saw, they already have several books listed there, and you receive an offer and you sign the contract, and then you can start recording and you can upload weekly. Like I said, recurring revenue, right? And they will pay you. Now, I know y'all want to know, how much will I get paid? Well, on WeHear, you can expect to get paid between $100 and $200 PFH. That's actually a pretty good rate, especially if you are brand new to audiobook narration or voiceover jobs, and you are somebody that wants to get your feet wet without having to be dedicated to spending a whole bunch of time at your computer. Now, one thing that I do want to point out is that on WeHear, you will have to submit your demo, which includes a sample of your audio. Now, remember in the intro when I said some of you want to avoid ACX because you want to get around the strict sound requirements on ACX? Well, I'm going to tell you, you cannot use other platforms as your escape from that requirement because many platforms still want their audio on Audible. That's the number one marketplace in the world. That was actually why I used ACX, because ACX allowed me to streamline getting my audio onto Audible, because both ACX and Audible are owned by Amazon. So it's a one-stop shop. But the fact of the matter is, other platforms also want crisp audio, and the majority of them are still going to want that audio on Audible as well. So while WeHear is not one that goes on to Audible, you should know that there are still sound requirements that you have to meet, such as having your audio within certain decibels. If you don't know how to meet these sound requirements that WeHear and pretty much every other platform in the world is going to require of you, then I highly suggest that you join me in the Audiobook Blueprint. That is my audiobook narration system where I teach you everything A to Z when it comes to audiobooks and voiceovers. I know a lot of times people feel like I can figure it out on my own. Yeah, you can figure it out on your own, but think about how much time that's going to cost you. And that time is even more valuable than the money you're going to be wasting as well, because you can't get that back. Okay. So if you are somebody that wants to get into audiobook narration and voiceovers, don't try to take the back road and think that you can escape editing that audio. You're still going to have to do it, okay? So if you are interested in Audiobook Blueprint, I'm going to link that down below. I highly suggest you save yourself the time and the frustration and just join me over in the Audiobook Blueprint. I'll see you over there, okay? And let's move on to the second website that will pay you to read, and it's Voices by inAudio. Now, this platform is going to benefit a lot of you out there that actually want to write your own books or already have your own books out there. I've seen a lot of comments and have gotten a lot of messages from people that have told me, I have my own book. I actually want to narrate my own book. So Voices by inAudio will allow you to do that. So looking on the website, you can see you can actually get your audiobooks heard everywhere. They have global distribution. So it's not in just one country that your audiobook will be distributed. Okay. So the way that it works is you use this platform to upload your audiobooks and then they will distribute it, and they distribute to all the major platforms, including Audible, Apple, and Spotify. Plus they have educational platforms and libraries that they're connected with as well. So you will be able to reach a lot of people if you're uploading your own audiobooks here. And I should point out, it is free to sign up for this platform. Now let's talk about the money. Voices by inAudio will pay you 80% of their revenue, okay? Not 80% of the sale of the book, 80% of the portion that they get. So that breaks down to where you would actually be getting 25 to 50% of the list price of the book. And the good thing is you actually control the pricing. So you let them know how much you want to list that book for. So essentially, you're controlling how much you actually get paid. Now, Voices by inAudio is actually similar to the third website that will pay you to read, and this is called Authors Republic. This is also great for authors that want to put out their own audiobooks, and they also distribute globally. Okay, so your audiobook will be available worldwide, and they have it right here on their website that you can sell your audiobook to retail, library, and streaming channels, including Audible, Apple, Spotify, Google Play, Hoopla, I don't even know what that is, and Libby, and more. I don't know what Libby is either. So the thing is, though, they have a lot of options of where your audiobook can go, which means more money. Speaking of the money, how much can you expect to get paid by Authors Republic? With this platform, it's typically between 70 to 80% of their revenue. So it's in the same range as Voices by inAudio and possibly slightly less. But hey, if you want to get distributed to a whole bunch of platforms, then this might be a wonderful option for you. So I'm going to link these options down below for you. And let's move back to the regular folks, those of us that don't have our own audiobooks, okay? So this fourth website that will pay you to read is voices.com. Now, this is one of the OGs. I remember talking about this even years ago. And what I like about voices.com is they don't just have audiobooks. They also have voiceover jobs. So the difference between the two is you're not just reading a book. You can also have the option of doing voiceovers for cartoons, public service announcements, commercials. All kinds of voiceover jobs are available on voices.com. Now, you should know that this platform right here is not free. All right. So you can possibly see what they have available, but you cannot submit an audition or land a job until you pay the membership. And as you can see here, the premium membership is $349 on sale. Now, before you start complaining and saying,
I don't want to pay for a platform,
the money might change your mind, because on voices.com, you can expect to get paid between $100 for a small project to over $10,000 for a larger project. Yeah, that membership isn't sounding so bad, is it? Now, another thing to think about is the sites that have membership fees typically have less competition because there's less people willing to pay. So if you want to eliminate some of your competition, then you might want to consider signing up for one of these platforms that do require a paid membership. Now let's move on to the fifth website that will pay you to read from home, and it's called Voquent. This is another one that I've known about for years. Voquent has plenty of audiobook narration jobs, and it's free to sign up, but they do have a paid membership. This is one of those platforms that can really help you out if you are outside of one of those countries where ACX is available. Because as you can see, you can choose from several different languages here on Voquent. Also, the gender, it doesn't matter what gender you are or what you identify as or anything. It just depends on what you sound like. So just choose the appropriate option for what you actually sound like. Now, for those of you that are not in the US, take a look here. Do not hop in my comments talking about,
it's not available in my country. There's no options in my country. I can't do audiobook narration.
Look at these. There are several options for native accent. Again, use the link below and find out if Voquent is available in your country. But even if Voquent is not available in your country, stay tuned, because I do have more options for you, and I know for a fact that some of these are available worldwide. Now, before we hop off the Voquent website, let's talk about how much we can actually expect to get paid with Voquent, because they actually brag about paying up to 400% more than their competitors. So with Voquent, you can actually expect to get paid between $175 and $350 per finished hour. Remember, I already described what PFH is. If you skip that, then you need to rewind and watch this video all the way through. I tell y'all, watch this video all the way through. Stop trying to skip through, okay? That's not how you're gonna make your money, by skipping through life. That's just not going, it's not gonna work, okay? But let's move on to the sixth website that will pay you to read from home. And I know this one is worldwide, okay? This one is called Fiverr. You can find all kinds of freelance, everything from voiceover jobs to being a virtual assistant. It's all available. I've even offered my own services on Fiverr. So I know they're legit. I know they pay, and I've hired people from Fiverr as well. On Fiverr, you can just type in voiceover or audiobook narration or anything like that. But let's be a little newsy and see what other people are charging, so we can get an idea of how much money we can actually expect to get paid on Fiverr. So as you can see, this woman, she's actually top rated, which means she does a lot of the jobs and stuff. So she's actually, for 100 words, she's charging from $35. Okay. 100 words is like under a minute long, or about a minute long. Okay. So it's $35 per minute. That's a nice pretty penny. Okay. And this gentleman here, 150 words, he's starting at $60. 1 minute, $60. Think about that. Okay. Do the math on that. So there are plenty of other price options available on here. So price yourself competitively. And actually, speaking of that, in the Audiobook Blueprint, which is my audiobook narration system, where you get lifetime access, I mentioned it earlier. But the thing is, a lot of times people don't know how to price themselves, and you could be putting yourself out there getting severely underpaid. I actually talk about negotiation and actually getting paid more to do audiobook narration jobs inside the Audiobook Blueprint. So if you are somebody interested in the Audiobook Blueprint, like I said, this is not just about audiobook narration. This covers all the bases. So I'm going to link that down below, and I'm actually going to link it directly to this video. I'm telling y'all, join the Audiobook Blueprint. It will save you a whole bunch of time, energy, and frustration. All right. But on Fiverr, you can expect to get paid as little as $5. That's why it's called Fiverr, all the way up to more than $1,000, depending on the length of the project. But the most important thing is you set your own rate, okay? Nobody can tell you how much to charge on Fiverr. So I'm going to link Fiverr down below if you want to sign up for that platform. It is free, okay? Fiverr will take a percentage of what you earn, but it is free for you to sign up and use and all that good stuff. Now, another platform that I really love, and I like to say this is like a big sister to Fiverr. I think it's the more professional big sister to Fiverr, and it's called Upwork. Now, Upwork is just like Fiverr, where you can find a variety of freelance jobs. But on Upwork, when you put yourself out there and somebody offers to hire you, you can actually see how much money they have spent on the platform. So you can see that this person is legit if they've already spent $10,000 on Upwork, right? Now I want to be newsy and see how much people are actually willing to pay for voiceover artists here on Upwork. Okay, this is the talent. He's listing himself at $40 an hour. So I guess we'll be newsy on both ends. We'll see what people are charging and we'll see what jobs are available. So $40 an hour, $70 an hour, $60 an hour. This one is $15 an hour. So you can actually see that there is a wide range. You can price yourself competitively, like I said, but let's check out the actual jobs that are available and how much people are willing to pay you. Okay, here's one. An English Indian voice talent for voice AI project. So for those of you that are often worried, like, oh my gosh, AI is taking over, they still want humans to even help with the AI, okay? And speaking of AI, I got to address this because I have people that jump into my comments not knowing what the heck they are talking about. So when it comes to AI in the voiceover world, okay, yes, AI is available in the world, but AI is not replacing human emotion and the authenticity of having a real person narrate your audiobooks. That's the reason why you can go on the majority of these platforms and see 1,000+ audiobook narration jobs available for humans. Plus, let me just put this plain and simple. When it comes to Audible, the #1 marketplace in the entire world for audiobooks, they do not allow AI voices on their platform. Okay, so we are going to continue on and not stop our lives because AI exists in the world. Because if that's the case, then you really never wanted to do it anyway. You are a human. You have emotions. You have something that AI will never have. And you can grab those jobs like the rest of us are and getting our coin. But let me get off my high horse and let's talk about the 8th platform that will pay you to read from home. And it is Voice123. Now, this is another platform that's been around for a very long time. And they don't just need audiobook narrators, but they also need voice actors. So again, we're talking those commercials, cartoons, all kinds of voiceover jobs are available on this platform. And you're not stuck having to narrate a long book if you don't want to. You can actually do really short jobs. So let's just take a look at the website. And as you can see, huge companies use them. Look, Airbnb, New York Times, Duolingo, 21st Century Fox, Coca-Cola, NBC. Okay. So they actually run down how to actually use this platform. And if you don't know how to produce your audio, you can actually get them to do the production for you. Okay. Look at this. Look at this. So if you need an extra hand, you can get full voiceover production guaranteed. Okay. So if you don't know how to meet those sound requirements, then you have an option. But I would highly advise against that because now you're relying on somebody else to do your editing. When if you learn how to do the editing and the production of that audio, guess what? You can actually charge other people for doing that, especially on those platforms that are already named like Fiverr and Upwork. You can list yourself as an audio production engineer and get people to pay you for that. And you can still be landing voiceover and audiobook narration jobs on those same platforms as well. Inside my audiobook blueprint, I do cover the editing. Like I said, I walk y'all through everything when it comes to audiobook narration and voiceover jobs, A to Z. You will never need another program again, but the choice is yours. You can do whatever you want to do. But let's talk about how much money you can actually expect to get paid on Voice 123. This is going to grab your attention because for a short 1-minute job, you can expect to get paid between $50 and $200. And if you happen to land a larger job, like say a 60-minute job, you can expect to get paid $1,000 or more on Voice 123. So I'm going to link them down below. You guys now have 8 reasons why you can forget ACX and focus on these other websites that will pay you to read. And like I said, I'm somebody that has been doing this now for 6 years. I landed my first audiobook narration contract back in 2020, and I'm still earning royalty checks from Audible every single month. So if you don't think that you can do it, but yet this Philly girl with the Philly accent was able to do it, you are sadly mistaken. You absolutely can. You just got to tap in and know that you can do it, and know that it will take effort, because the jobs are not going to come knocking on your door. You got to come and kick that door in and get those audiobook narration jobs. But once again, I gotta let you guys know, because I often get people asking me about it. The audiobook blueprint is my course where I cover everything for you, everything that I spoke about in this video, every little process that you would need to do in order to submit your samples and make sure that you meet sound requirements and actually know the pacing and what authors are looking for, so that you're not wasting time. Consider joining the audiobook blueprint. I would love to have you over there, and payment plans are available at checkout with Shop Pay. If you are interested, I'm going to link that down below. There's actually another platform that I did not mention in this video where you can land voiceover jobs, create online content, or even do acting for huge companies like HBO, Disney, Netflix, Hulu, Amazon. But before I drop that gem, I gotta know that you guys are actually going to support this video. So if you made it this far in the video and you want to know about that other platform that will pay you to do voiceover jobs for huge companies, then I need you to comment below the words, "Tell me more." That way I'll know who was actually paying attention, who watched this video all the way through, and who's really supporting this channel. And I will hook y'all up by letting you know all about this platform, okay? But you know what you gotta do. You gotta leave that comment. But I need you to do one more favor, and also let the YouTube algorithm know that you like this type of video. And you do that by hitting the thumbs up button. And also, please don't forget to subscribe, turn on your notifications so you can be notified when I drop a new video. And remember, you guys get several hypes a week. Please hype this video up so we can get this video out to more people, because YouTube loves to hate on my channel, which is the reason why many of you are just now finding me when I've been on this here platform for over 10 years. Now, if you're somebody that wants to get into audiobook narration and you think, I have to buy expensive equipment, or I don't even know what kind of equipment to get, then I suggest you watch this video. It's going to clarify a lot of things for you. I'll see y'all in the next one. Bye, y'all.
I might be broken down, but I'm smiling. I keep my head up high, though I fail. Sometimes I get a bit emotional, but then I turn around and let it go.